د سرحدات وزارت د دوهم مرستیال په توګه محترم قومندان ارسلا خروټی د مهاجرینو وزارت د مرستیال په توګه محترم دکتور لطف الله خیرخوا د لوړو زده کړو وزارت د مسلکي مرستیال په توګه محترم انجینیر نجیب الله د اټومي انرژي د رئیس په توګه یا د ټاکنې چې تر ډیره حده مسلکیتوب او وړتیا په نظر کې پکې نیول شوې ده د اسلامي امارت په تشکیلاتو کې اضافه سول او په دې سره به نظام ان شاء الله د لا قوت او معیاري کېدو په لور باندې ګامونه محترمو اسلامي امارت هڅه کوي.
You're now watching the live picture of the press conference held by the Taliban officials. We are expecting the spokesperson to announce the rest of the government cabinet members, and they are expected to include non-Taliban faces. We will have simultaneous English translation, and once that's ready, we will let you listen into that. And just a little bit of background information here. Earlier, the Taliban government's official spokesperson said the government would provide education and job opportunities for women. The government also vowed to build a positive and good relation with the United States. Let's listen in.
To deliver services to the people through the ministries in Afghanistan and what is belong to the future of Afghanistan, that is all about delivering the services. We have a responsibility to deliver services in different aspects of society to the people of Afghanistan. And yet when we see the cabinet is caretaker or an acting cabinet, this is necessary that we work towards strengthening the affairs and the system, and we want all the success for the team in this regard.
مجاهد صاحب سلام تاسو ته ټولو ته درې پوښتنې لرم بخښنې سره ځینې وخت موږ اړ کېږو چې پوښتنې زیاتې وکړو داسې همکاران مو غوښتنې کوي د رسمیت پېژندنې لپاره مو د نړۍ سیمې او ګاونډي هېوادونو سره غوښتنه کړې ده یا خبرونه شوي دي او تګلاره مو
The Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan has asked the international community about the unfreezing the Afghanistan money and assets because the banks are running out of money. And the second question is also related to the freezed money. The government offices which are already operated and those who have been working in this ministries will be asked again to join. We are working on these issues, and the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan is trying their best to finally make it happen, to convince the international community, to get the international recognition that the people of Afghanistan are happy with this system. And these were the essential steps that we want them to apply. And the concerns that the people of Afghanistan have will be solved, and also the concerns that the international community has, they should share with us through diplomatic channels so that we could solve it. And that's why we've been already engaged. My first question is about ISKP, Daesh. They claim the responsibility of recent attacks. Who are supporting the ISKP and provide them the facilities? And the second question, Imran Khan said that he has been engaged in talking with the Taliban to form an inclusive government. So what's your comments on this regard? Thank you. The first attacks that we saw in Nangarhar, they were brutal. We condemned them. They have no objective. Mostly the civilians were targeted, and they want to create fear among the people. And the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan is very much serious, and the people of Afghanistan very soon will witness serious change in this regard. And I've already mentioned that the ISIS, which was operating in Syria and Iraq, is different, and that's something else. This is not familiar with the people of Afghanistan, and they will be hated by the people of Afghanistan and will be failed. So they are unapparently doing their attacks, covert attacks in different parts of the country, and our forces are very much awake and steady to control them. And the second answer about the Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan. Many countries are in contact with us, and discussions are continuing about the systems in Afghanistan, and all the issues and concerns that they have about Afghanistan system. They have also cooperating with the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan, and there is Qatar and other countries that are in contact with the Islamic Emirate of Taliban, and that they want to cooperate with us, and that doesn't mean that they are interfering in our issues, and we will not allow anybody to interfere. So these are mutual relationship between the countries that we are carrying on. Mr. Mujahid, and part of that, we've already talked about the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan as maintaining security and doing their best. But in recent days in Balkh, Herat, and even in Kabul, some businessmen are targeted. What is the stance and steps of the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan in this regard? And also you talked about the interim government. Do you think that the list that would be announced or already announced is an inclusive government? Well, about the kidnappings and the threats to the businessmen and investors in the countries in Herat and other provinces are taken care very seriously. We have already maintained a team to prevent such incidents and maintain security for the people of Afghanistan, and that's our priority. There are several incidents, and we have already captured and arrested those who have been involved in this, and the investigation is on the way. And from now on, it will also be continuously and seriously be chased, and we will protect our businessmen and individuals and citizens in Afghanistan. It would be better if there is one question, because all the journalists could have their own number and they could ask. Alam TV.
مجاهد صاحب القائمة التي تفضلتم بها هل هي ستكون ثابتة بالنسبة للحكومة أم أن هذه الحكومة هي حكومة تصريف أعمال؟ وإذا كانت حكومة تصريف أعمال فمتى ستعلن عن الحكومة الثابتة، وهل هذه الحكومة ستأتي عن
It's about the inclusive government in the country.
سيتم تعيينها من قبل أمير المؤمنين كما تفضلتم؟
Tell us more about this. There would be election, or it would be led by the Emir of the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan.
وي په کابینه کې چې دا اوس کوم غړي تاسو اعلان کړو، آیا دا دغه موقتي ادارې یا حکومت غړي دي او که د ابدي؟
And the list that you announced, they are the member of the interim government, or they would be permanent? Islamic Emirat of Afghanistan is trying to strengthen the cabinet member and the officials of the government to deliver better services to the people of Afghanistan, and that's why we have already focused on the merit and also the tribal and ethnic structures from different fractions of the society, and we are trying. And there's a question about that, when will be at permanent and it will be solved, the issues regarding this. It's belong to the time, and we will do our best to finally do it.
Yes, could I ask you, sir? Hi. Could I ask you, sir, on the inclusivity of the cabinet, there is a concern that minorities are not represented, and women. And could you also tell me, sir, when will the government allow girls to go to school from grades 6 to 12? When will that begin?
دا اوس چې تاسو کومه کابینه اعلان کړله په دغه کې اکثره مونږ ګورو د اقلیتونه کې شته که نه. اول دویمه خبره د ښځینهو ده په کابینه کې ځای ورکړی دی ورته که نه، ولې هم تر اوسه نه دی ورکړی. او بل د شپږم نه تر 12مه پورې چې کوم ښځینه زده کوونکي دي دوی ته به کله تاسو اجازه ورکړئ چې درسونه ته لاړ شي؟
باید یادونه وکړو چې دا اوسنۍ کابینه چې اعلان شوه انشاءالله په دې کې اقلیتونه ټول په نظر کې نیول شوي دي. ما مخکې یادونه وکړه چې زموږ د هزاره وروڼه هم دکتور صاحب د تاسو ته معرفي کومه ښه ده چې بیا تاسې ځان
as we already talked about it, that the announcement I just made is covering the inclusiveness or inclusivity of the government. We have all the ethnics, including the Hazara ethnic of the country, like I have already mentioned, and also there would be female members in the government, and you will soon hear about it. And about the schools of the girls, and it's about the classes, and we are preparing whenever we are ready to separate the classes and all things related to this and regulations. The schools of girls will be open very soon.
ډیره زیاته مننه مجاهد صاحب. زه منصور نیکمل یم د کابل نیوز خبریال. مجاهد صاحب د کابینې تر اعلان څو ورځې اوړي.
Mr. Mujahid, it's now days that the cabinet of Afghanistan is announced. Why this cabinet is not recognized by the world, particularly the regional countries like Pakistan and Qatar, and those countries who are involved in Afghanistan affairs, and what would be the political steps of Islamic Emirat of Taliban? First of all, that the international recognition of our government is belong to the international community. We have been in touch with all of the international community, and this is a very major and important issue that the government of Afghanistan should be recognized by the international community. The UN and Islamic countries and all the countries in the world are asked to maintain their better relationship with our government, and that's our demand, and we urge the international community in this regard. Several occasions in that we've been trying to finally make it happen. And we will have progress in this regard in near future. And the second issue about the electricity, the Islamic Emirat of Afghanistan is struggling to maintain the budget in this regard, and we have already informed the government just in a couple of days, and we have a lot of issues, the revenues, the customs, and we have to have our own income that could be maintained, the budget through, and we could fill the bills regarding to the electricity of Afghanistan. So the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan is trying to timely step up in these regards. We've been in contact with different countries, and we also working on the strengthening of the investment in the country and boosting the economy, and that's why it will also take time, but we are doing our best in these regards.
Thank you for taking my question. Sir, can you give us a reason why girls from grades 6 to 12 cannot go to school currently? And my colleague already asked about the time frame, but can you give us an idea when you will have the solution on this, when they can go back to school? Is it days or weeks or months or years maybe?
Assalamu alaikum. سوالی است که همکار دیگه ما پرسان کردن که درباره مکاتب دخترها و متعلمین بین صنف 6 تا صنف 12 دلیلش میشه که پرسان کنیم که دلیلش چی است که تا آغاز نشده، و دومی که وقتی که اگر شروع میشه میشه که بگوییم که روزها را شاید در بر بگیره، هفته ها را، ماه ها را و سال ها را. شکر.
یک چیز را مد نظر بگیریم که اول خوب مکاتب قبلا به اساس مسائل کرونایی و خطرات
First of all, we have to remember that Afghanistan schools were off due to the COVID-19, and we entered in the same situation, and there were also problems in the system, so we are doing our best to solve all the issues and pave the way to the education and higher education of the girls and women in Afghanistan. And also we've already operated our ministries, the Ministry of Higher Education, the Ministry of Education in the country. I can just assure you that very soon the issue of the girls and the schools of the girls and higher education of the women will be solved.
روز گذشته رئیس سازمان سی جهان به افغانستان آمد و با مقامات ارشد امارت اسلامی دیدار کرد. در این اواخر یکی از نگرانی‌های جدی نبود
the WFP chief visited Kabul and met with the cabinet of the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan and presidential palace. There are problems in Afghanistan, particularly about the starvation and the looming economic catastrophe. What were the issues in this regard? So that was a very successful visit. The Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan welcomed them and urged them to further accelerate their cooperation with the country in health and also in humanitarian assistance, and we are trying to allocate the cooperation and assistance from international community, and also there have been many countries that are assisting us, particularly United States of America, India, Qatar, and other countries, and providing medicine and also food and raw materials, and all those assisted to the people of Afghanistan were mainly medicine and medical equipment, and it will be continuing in the country, and it will be distributed to those people of Afghanistan who are an our priority and they have the right to reach this assistance. And also we have got many other countries that they have pledged to cooperate with Afghanistan and assist in humanitarian areas.
مننه مجاهد صاحب فضل هادي حمیدی مال کلید رادیو څخه مجاهد صاحب ما هم څه پوښتنې درلودې خو دوه به یې مطرح کړم تاسو په اجازه لومړی پوښتنه مې دغه ده چې هغه د کریډټ کارتونو څخه چې 10% مالیه اخیستل کېده د څو کاله چې هغه دوام لري مخکې
What about that 10% of tax from the mobile credit cards from the people of Afghanistan? What is the fate of this issue? Will it be removed or will be continuing in the same way? And if it continues, where this money will go? Is there any transparency in this regard? My second question is that the reports about the media restrictions. There is no doubt that some media outlets in Afghanistan are related to some foreign countries. Is there any specific stance from the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan? Well, we have already engaged in investigating the issues of the tax of the mobile credits, and we will soon reach a conclusion, and I can assure the people of Afghanistan that they won't be wasted. There would be a very vivid procedure in this regard, and the people of Afghanistan should make sure about this, and we are it's of our attention that this issue is important. The second question about the media, we are supporting the media. We have already witnessed, we have been in touch with you. It's about the support of the free media in Afghanistan, and we are strengthening it. If there were some problems, they have reasons behind. Most of the media outlets are just in phobia and they fear from the beginning. So we can assure you that we will support them. They are in the favor of the country and the favor of the nation, and we will stand beside them and will support the media in Afghanistan.
مننه مجاهد صاحب اوس تاسو تقریبا کابینه ټول اعلان شو
Almost the cabinet is completed and announced now. Which law in this cabinet is based on? And the Constitution of Afghanistan is already rejected by the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan. So what is the route and the legal way of the formation of this cabinet that would be followed? There are many political parties and movements in Afghanistan. Will they be included and they will be active, operating in the country? All the ministries have their own procedures. There must not be much differences put in the operational areas of the cabinet and ministries. So these are relating to this. So they will do their task according to their own regulations and the laws that already applied. And if there is something important and separated, it will be followed through an exclusive order of the Emir and the Prime Minister. So in regard to the law, there are regulations in all the offices and ministries of the country that would be followed. There are too much questions. We can't go to many questions for one, so the rest of the other journalists could reach out.
بهرنیو چارو وزیر هند ته سفر کړو او په یو کانفرنس کې ویل چې القاعده
the acting foreign minister visited India, and I'll say that Al-Qaeda is still a threat to the region and the world, and there are comments on that Al-Qaeda will again emerge in Afghanistan. And secondly, the former Afghan security forces are living under an uncertain fate. Well, that the rumors about that there are Al-Qaeda affiliates in Afghanistan, these are just baseless reports. The Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan has pledged the international community, and there is commitment from us to the world, and that's clear in the framework of Doha Agreement. We will not allow anyone to threat the region or the world via Afghanistan soil, and we are still committed to our pledges that we have already made. Secondly, When the US forces were leaving Afghanistan, they even destroyed our civil aircraft and planes. It took time. We repaired them in cooperation with some countries. The Islamic Emirate needs some time to finalize these issues. We want a system that would be permanent and sustainable in the country. And the forces of Afghanistan will maintain the national interest of Afghanistan and secure the borders of the country. And that's what we will be doing in the future to solve all the issues related to the security.
Thank you so much, sir. My name is Zhang Tingfeng, the special correspondent of Phoenix City, China for Afghanistan. My question is that China recently said it will respect the sovereignty and independence of Afghanistan. While China will continue to provide more help within its ability, and announced that will provide 2 billion Chinese yuan of food and other assistance to the new Afghan government, as well as 3 million COVID-19 vaccines. May I ask if you look at this help from China?
تشکر مجاهد صاحب که با ما وقت دادن. میگه نام من ژان تینفنگ، خبرنگار ویژه تلویزیون فینیکس تیوی چینا برای افغانستان هستم. سوال من این است که میگه اخیراً چین به حاکمیت و استقلال افغانستان احترام میگذارد و در حالی که چین به کمک خود در حد توان خود ادامه میدهد و اعلام کرده که 2 میلیارد یوان غذا و کمک های دیگر به دولت جدید افغانستان و همچنین 3 میلیون واکسن کووید 19 ارائه خواهد کرد. ممکن است بپرسم آیا با کمک چین نگاه میکنید؟
تشکر. اول خب ما از موقف چین و از همکاری‌ها و وعده‌های چین سپاسگزاری میکنیم.
First of all, I appreciate the stance and the cooperation of the Chinese Republic. Afghanistan has just got out from the war, a long war, and we want affirmative relationship with the world and region, and we are optimistic about the cooperation of China, and they've already made pledges, and we will have better relationship in the future, and we want them to continue their struggles for maintaining better and positive relationship with Afghanistan, and all the world assistance to Afghanistan will be maintained and allocated in a vivid and transparent way, and it will reach, and all the people of Afghanistan will reach it accordingly. And also the China, we of course want positive relationship with China, and we have maintained these relationship already.
Hi, we have no Ministry for Women's Affairs, and we have no schools for girls at the moment, even though you've said it will be as soon as possible. And the future for women in terms of their jobs looks very bleak as well. How do Taliban officials tell their wives and their daughters what their future will be like?
شما قبلا سوال اینجا پرسان کرده بودن، ولی سوال مایی است که مثل که وزارت امور زنا و مسئولین شاگردات در مکتبای خود رفتن نمیتونن، شما بر خانمایتان و اولادایتان در آینده چی خواهد گفتین؟
باید بگویم که مسئله خانما و زنا چی در کار باشه چی در تحصیل سرش کار جریان داره. امارت اسلامی افغانستان مسئولیت داره که به تمام اقشار خود پاسخگو باشه به خاطر خدماتشان و به خاطر تعلیمشان.
All the issues relating to the women and girls of Afghanistan, we are working on this, and we want to deliver services to all the individuals of the country to deliver services to them, to the education, higher education, jobs and employment. All of these issues are now discussed. We have to firstly maintain the security of the women in the country. In this regard, the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan is trying their best to solve all the hurdles and obstacles, and we could go further and they could enjoy all their rights in the country.
تشکر مجاهد صاحب. بیش از یک ماه از آمدن حکومت جدید در افغانستان می‌گذرد. ظاهراً با گذشت هر روز دامنه فقر گسترش پیدا می‌کند.
It's now more than a month of the new government in Afghanistan. The looming economic catastrophe, humanitarian crisis, unemployment, many people are selling their home assets. What were the steps in this regard? That was a good question. Yeah, the looming economic catastrophe in Afghanistan was already happening, and the media should also know that a few things. First, before we enter Kabul, the banks were looted. You can contact with the bank authorities and get information. And the money of the people of Afghanistan and national treasure were withdrawn from the banks before entering the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan to Kabul. So many other assets and many of the people of Afghanistan is already freezed by the international community, so that's already a problem. And the banks are still not operating fully, and these were the problems. The other issue is that the national revenues are also shattered before the collapse of Kabul. Those were not in our hands. These were already looted, all of these money, by the former government. We have to allocate and collect the revenues and customs of Afghanistan, and that's our priority. That's why we were already engaged in operating in these areas that will make the national economy move on, and we are hopeful that it will soon be solved, and the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan is continuously trying to pave the way to unfreeze the international the money of Afghanistan from international community. And I can be optimistic, and I can predict that that won't be for a long term. It will be solved. And that's what we are trying to.
در ارتباط با اینکه مراسم تحلیف آیا برگزار میشه یا نه، خب صحبت‌های زد و نقیضی بود. اخیراً هم گفته شده که قرار این مراسم تحلیف برگزار بشه. این مراسم چقدر نزدیکه و اینکه تعدادی از
It's about the inauguration ceremony of the new cabinet. It was said that it will be soon organized, and there are still questions about the inclusive government. Many faces of the different aspects of the society are not seen. First of all, that the inauguration ceremony is cancelled because the leadership preferred that before organizing the inauguration ceremony that could waste the time. It's better to just focus on delivering the services to the people of Afghanistan, to maintain the relationship. They were all shattered, and so we are in this regard, and that's why we are clearly saying that there would be no inauguration ceremony, but delivering the services and maintaining security and other issues. The other issues, it's not important that all of the fractions and all those who have been involved in the society and governing, we want them to include, and that's what we have been trying to reach out, and doing this, delivering the services is something priority. It's the second time that the cabinet is announced, but unfortunately most of the people are still waiting for their salaries, particularly the civil servants. And the priority is on the higher level now in the country.
چې کله د خوښۍ مراسم سي داسې بې ځایه ډزې کې به تاسو مخکې ویلي وو چې د بیت المال ته باید هغه نیسي او ترڅنګ یې ځینې
and there are fears among the people when there are some bigger news. The Taliban soldiers start shooting, and we have already witnessed that there were casualties. What are your steps in these regards? First of all, to fight with the poverty in the country, we've been doing our struggles and procedures and everything, and we're working on the debating the salaries of the civil servants and governmental employees so they could get their salaries on time, and we are working on this. We are already focusing on this, and we know the issues in this regard. And the related issues that you discussed, that the members of the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan or our forces, you've already seen that there were many ceremonies, but no one has fired, and no firing in the country. And those who were out of the region, they have the guns in their hands. We will also reach them. We need the cooperation of everybody, particularly the media in the country, whether if it's in Kabul or other provinces. We will search them, we will find them, and we will prevent them.
Thank you, Mr. Mujahid. 75% of the previous government's budget came from international aid, and this paid salaries and doctors and teachers. And the central bank's assets are also frozen abroad. How will you make up for these missing funds?
مجاهد صاحب تاسو ته تبریک دا پخوا به 15% بودیجه دولت د خارجان له خوا تعمیرېدله او اوس هغه بند سو او دا کوم پیسې خارجان هغه کړي دي فریز کړي دي کنګال کړي دي نو دا به دا کوم ګیپ راغی دومره 15% دا به دا څنګه د پوښ لاندې راوړه
موږ مخکې په اقتصادي مسایلو باندې بحث وکړ اول دا باید ووایو چې
we already discussed the economic issues. First of all, that all the 75% of the international assistance to Afghanistan and humanitarian financial issues were wasted, and the corruption and everything was something that was preventing delivering the services and the better use of the money. And now, from now on, we are committed to deliver services and maintain all these financial assistance to Afghanistan. It would be accountable. We want to make sure the international community that we will prevent the waste of the money. And Afghanistan is not a poor country. We have our own income path and ways and routes. We in long term will reach for the current situation. Our own incomes and revenues are fulfilling the requirements of the governmental offices and the salaries related issues. So we will keep going through the same routes.
سلام علیکم آقای مجاهد. من دو تا سوال دارم اگر اجازه بدید. یکیش همون سوالی که دوستمون اجازه پرسیدن ادامهش رو میخوام بدم. اگر پولهایی که در بانک
well, I have several questions. One question which is already
چقدر میتونید اداره کنید و کجا میرسید که شما بدون پول این کشور رو اداره کنید چون اگر این پولها از خارج
how could you reach the destinations and continue the affairs with low budget? The second question is, the European Union said that their tasks were already finished. And when will the task normally be started? I already mentioned that the Afghanistan National Revenue is fulfilling the requirements of the governmental offices and the salaries. Afghanistan have revenues and customs. We have import and exports in different areas. But it's very less time. We were not able till now to collect all the revenues on time. And it's something, the requirements of the people of Afghanistan and the government will be acquired and fulfilled. And we've already started our struggles to unfreeze the assets in many of Afghanistan. So the people of Afghanistan and the economy of the country could boost and get a better situation. All the related issues to the project that you mentioned, the Qatar, Emirat and other countries have been working on this. Just to Kabul airport operation system, when it's related to the domestic and international economic flights, it's already started, and we need further more steps to facilitate, to deliver services through Kabul airport and other airports of the country. And it will soon be reaching a conclusion. There was a question that what is the plan of the government to control the looming economic catastrophe? First, I mentioned it earlier that the previous government officials had already looted the money of Afghanistan, and they've brought them with themselves, and it was already shattered. We are working to resume and reallocate all the revenues and strengthen the national treasury, and also provide the opportunity and facilitate the investors and businesses in Afghanistan so that could lead its way and solve all the problems that are related. We are tirelessly working on these issues.